Hey everyone, and welcome to Tidbit Thursday. We are so excited to be here with you today. Today we are going to get into the Halloween spirit, and we're going to start talking about some Halloween safety.
During Halloween, more fires and accidents occur due to candles and decorations, and unfortunately, street safety. So, first, we're going to talk about carving. So,
Yeah, when you're sitting there, I'm getting to the point, I'm getting too old to want to carve. I'm like, can I just paint it instead? But the kids really do love getting in there and getting all that goo in there and grabbing it out and carving. So before you carve your pumpkins, always remember just one, be aware because it's sharp, and be safe. You can, if you don't want to use a knife or a carving utensil, then definitely just decorate your pumpkins with some paint and some glitter. What do you guys do?
well, Leela still carves to this day. So, but she is starting to use, we have a Cricut. Our team has a Cricut. So she is using the Cricut now to get the vinyl. So that's another idea,
Oh,
just
yeah.
using vinyl and decorating it that way too.
I know the one
So
thing I love is I've been letting everybody else carve. Usually I get Pompey to carve it because I like getting the seeds and then roasting them. Love
yeah,
me some pumpkin seeds.
yeah. So that's what she does. She works with little ones, so it works perfect for
Yeah.
her.
And using candles in your decorative really sets the tone, because it gives it that real nice soft, and you can go eerie with it. But we want to be careful.
And they do sell those candles, the LED ones, so you don't actually have to use a tea light or a candle. Use that. But if you are going to use a tea light, make sure that the pumpkin is away from anything flammable.
Yes.
You want to get it away from walls as much as you can, curtains, things of that nature. And also Halloween decorations. One year I walked into the house and Leela, I don't know what she did, but she looked at me. We had a broom, a witch broom, and she was turning on a candle and it lit the broom.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And so she looked at me like, Mom. And so I had to, I didn't even think. I just kind of stomped on it and that was that. But yeah, you have to be careful. These things are not made.
No hot firefighters visiting your.
Right, right. And then, of course, for with flashlights, they do have battery glow sticks and things of that
Yeah.
nature.
I love glow sticks. It's kind of a temporary one night thing, but they're just so much fun.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that as we were kind of researching to say, what should we talk about with Halloween safety, always makes me giggle because growing up in like the 80s, and when it talks about costume safety, we had those like flammable plastic
Yes.
costumes and those awful masks or the two little holes that you could barely see out of.
Yes. It used to come in a box too. Remember?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Make it
Yeah.
one night. You couldn't wear your costume before then because it was going to rip.
Yeah.
Parents weren't
Exactly.
going to buy another.
Yeah.
But, get clever with your costumes, especially if as you trick or treat and it's getting dark outside. Make sure that you have something that is going to show that you're there, a reflective tape or glow stick or flashlight. Pick really bright costumes. The brighter the better, and then definitely find flame retardant materials, because people that will have pumpkins and candles outlet, you don't want to walk by and then have something catch. Make sure that you're wearing things that kids aren't going to trip over
Oh, yes.
and that they can see out of properly.
Yes. And so, yeah, definitely you need to size it right. Make sure that they are able to walk without tripping, or somebody else can step on their costume, because I know that happens a lot to me. People kick me and stuff. So you want to make sure that they're wearing the right size shoes. Little girls, I know that they like to wear little heels, but they could trip on that. So just be careful. You're walking a lot, especially like around your neighborhood. People might have their cars on the driveway, so kids want to go up the grass, and the grass is not leveled. I know I fell the other day.
And you didn't even get any candy out of it.
I fell the other day. So you want to make sure that everything is nice and swords, all of that. They have weapons on them, that it's not sharp, things of that nature.
And while you're walking around the neighborhood, really, the most safe would be to skip the mask altogether, because it can get into their sight of you. They can end up tripping, and people recommend using non-toxic makeup instead.
Yes.
But this year, keep in mind, Halloween night falls on Sunday, and so little ones got to get up for school on Monday.
Yes. I remember when I used to teach, I don't know if you had this happen, the kids would come and they would still have makeup on their faces.
I know.
I'm like, okay.
Always hate it when Halloween fell on a week, or the day after Halloween fell on a weekday, because there was not going to be any learning happening, really. It was a recovery day.
There was sugar wasted. So to prepare for trick-or-treaters
at your home.
Yes,
yeah,
you want to make sure that one, you clean up your yards and everything in front. Make sure that your garden hoses are put away. Make sure your kiddos put away their toys and bikes. We're here in San Antonio, we don't have snow, but if you are in a colder climate, make sure that you are clearing away any snow. So anything to make it as clear as possible. And then, of course, turning your lights on.
Yeah.
And making sure that they can see your door. And I know that it has become a tradition that if the light is not on, they're not giving out candy.
Yeah.
Boo. But
so skip the places that don't have any obvious lights on, and let those people be.
Yes. They they may not have candy, or they may not want to participate for a reason,
Especially with COVID going on still. I mean, the CDC does say that it's pretty safe to be in an outdoor setting. And to try to avoid enclosed, non-ventilated areas, but some people may have immunocompromised family members, or just not feeling well themselves.
Yeah. So next is keeping pets safe.
Yeah, that to me, that's really important, because I know we love to be with our pets, but if your pet isn't trained, having all these people walk around and they don't really look human can really freak out some pets. And so just make sure you keep your pet safe, behind closed doors. If your pet is experiencing any anxiety or anything from having this happen, the doorbell's going to be ringing a lot. So just keep them to where they won't get frightened and bite anybody, or maybe run out and then run away, and have a hard time looking for them.
Yes. And be mindful that there's a lot of people who have real fears, a real fear of dogs. So even if your dog is the cutest little, bundle of joy, there may be somebody out there that's really, really afraid of all kind of dogs.
True.
So
keep them leashed and under control. And I think on the other end of that, because some kids are raised with animals and have no fear, always ask an owner first before you approach anybody's pet, and ask if they can pet them.
Yeah. And even though that little fluff of joy looks cute, he may not be friendly. So,
I know. Yeah. I always used to joke when people are like, "Does your animal bite?" I was like, "Do they have teeth?"
Yeah. And so let's say you don't want to give out candy. That's okay too. You can consider handing out instead of handing out sweets, you could do stickers, pencils. I know the Dollar Tree has great items that you can give out. Little balls, colored chalk. I mean, it's just there's endless possibilities.
There really is. I love when they haven't really seen them, but I haven't searched them out yet this year. They had like snacks, but in Halloween packaging. So pretzels and Cheetos, the little fruit snacks. Because to me, I'm like, hey, we're going to keep that. And then I throw that in their bag for lunch later on. And it's perfect for a parent.
Yeah. And as previous teachers, you know, they had a big rule that you couldn't hand out candy during the holidays and stuff. So as teachers, we had to get very creative in what we gave the kids. So, you know, kids won't mind it if you give them, as long as they're getting candy from elsewhere, they don't mind stickers every once in a while. And if you're still social distancing, or, you know, if that's a concern for you, you know, it's last year, a lot of households put a table in the front with the treats in on the yard or on the sidewalk, and kids were able to come and pick up a bag. So I think that is still something that, I think that's a great way to do it. And you can stay back there, watch the kids, say hi to them, and not get too close, especially even if you have allergies or something. That way you're not scaring people with your sneezes.
That's true now. A sneeze is not safe. I know we're going to be putting some candy in little individual bags for people to grab and go, just so we can get into the spirit and want to participate.
But I miss last year it was sad because my favorite part, I'm not a big Halloween person, but I do love watching the kids and how creative they are and how cute they are. So I did miss that last year because we come to your house for Halloween, and there was not a lot of kids. I know. Last year, I
every so often get to see some old students come by, and they're just so grown now. But, you know, adults, get in on the fun. Go with your trick-or-treaters, you know, and if you have young kids, you definitely may want to, especially if it's a really packed place, put their name and address inside of their suit. So in case they get separated from you, another adult can help them with your phone number and everything like that. And then definitely have something, if you're going to be out after dark, that will shine a light. You know, there's the curbs, tripping hazards, the sidewalks sometimes are on level.
And as soon as your kids are young enough, just like we have a fire plan, have a Halloween plan. Make sure that they know the rules, and every year you revisit those rules. You know, you tell them, look, we're going to go from here to here. You maybe a few days before start walking the route and be like, we're going to go this way. That way they kind of know. If your child is a little older and they go trick-or-treating, set a curfew. I mean, kids have phones now. They have watches. They can check their phone, make sure they're home at a certain time, and review the safety rules. Make sure that they stay with the group. They only walk on a sidewalk. They only go to homes that have lights on. And oh my gosh, please, you know, do not approach any house or car with a stranger if you're alone. That's a big one. So.
And this one makes me a little bit sad because I know growing up we didn't really worry about this, but you know, we're at the time and age where better safe than sorry. Inspect your treats before your kids start eating them. Don't let them snack while they're trick-or-treating, or bring a separate snack for them. And make sure you kind of give them a little bit of something healthy before you head out. And so once you discard them, you're going to look for things that aren't really sealed, that are torn, or if it just even looks questionable, toss it.
Yeah, they have enough candy.
I know,
they won't miss
it. Be careful if you have real little ones. You know, you don't want to give them anything that they could choke on. And then if your child has food allergies, definitely, you know, they want to get into the fun of it, but maybe they can go trick-or-treating and they have an alternative, you know, back at home. And then they can donate that candy.
Yeah. And I remember when we lived on base, we would be able to take all the candy over to somewhere on the base, and they would x-ray all the candy for you. That was crazy during that time. Yeah.
And San Antonio Methodist offered that a couple years ago. I'm not sure if they're going to do it this year, but we'll keep an eye out with that.
And make sure that I know kids like to hide their candy. I used to always make my kids give me their candy, and like, I'm taking
gotta take your parent tax.
And so if you don't want your kids to have all that candy, you can donate it. There are some nonprofit organizations that do seek out candy donations after Halloween, including Operation Gratitude, Soldiers Angels, and a few chapters of the Ronald McDonald House.
I definitely know Operation Gratitude is happening this year, and Soldiers Angels all too. They have some local drop-off areas in like North San Antonio. So we'll list their website down in the comments if you want to check it out. I know in the past also, but with COVID, things have changed. But in the past, we've always given candy out to like the security forces that we went through at the gate, or other teachers. Sometimes the local hospitals would take it and put it in their break room.
They'll get eaten.
So,
And
but double check with them before you just drop it, because they may not be allowed to have that.
yeah. And this is an afterthought, but if you have a teenage driver, consider not allowing, especially if they just got their license, consider not allowing them to drive on Halloween. There's a lot of kids out there, a lot of little ones. I know my son got into an accident like few Halloweens ago, and he was a new driver, so I speak from personal experience. If they just got their license, this may not be the night to
let them have that type of independence.
Yes.
And really, it was one of those, like, luckily no children are involved, but other drivers are being super cautious.
Yeah.
And, it just takes one person to have to put the brakes on really quickly.
Yeah.
And even though you don't see any pets or kids around, just a chain reaction right there.
And so when it comes to COVID, if you're still being a little cautious about going out, there are some alternative activities you can do instead of trick-or-treating. So you could do a candy swap party with friends or neighbors. You can have a food-free costume contest with games and prizes. Do a movie night at home. Do a scavenger hunt. That sounded fun. At home, like an Easter egg hunt. Get creative. There's so many things you can do.
There is. There are some local schools and communities, centers, and the colleges are offering things like trunk or treat. So it's a little bit, I guess, a little faster pace. Everything is right there. You can grab and go and then get home. And other than that, we really just want you guys to be safe and have a great time this Halloween. We would love to see pictures of you guys and your kids and your yards, especially. I love driving by yards and seeing really cool yards. So you guys can submit that to your friends at resolutionsxv.com or tag us on Facebook at resolutionsxv. And we'd love to add those to our video I can never say that word.
Which one?
Compilation.
You said it.
So,
a montage.
Our montage, our Halloween montage up there. And see what you guys dress like this year. It'll be fun.
Yes, it'll be fun to see those things. So, well, next week we'll be back to our normal informational Tidbit Thursday, even though this was, informational, but back to the market. But this was fun to do, and we're going to do one for Thanksgiving. So
it was fun to research.
Yes.
There.
All right. Well, we will see you next Thursday with another topic.
Bye.
Bye.